Yeah, I mean, I love running the ball. I think any offensive lineman would be lying to you if they didn't want to. But it's our job to just execute whatever's called. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, I love running the football, but our job is to do our job.
Sam, there were a lot of questions about this offensive line, just given the injuries you had during training camp and the turnover. How did you feel like you guys performed overall in this opener?
I thought there were some things we did good. I thought there were some things we did not so good. Had a chance to go through the tape a few times and go through it together as a unit. There's definitely things that we need to improve on. But as far as our first game, being on the road, working through silent cadence, there's a lot to be proud of. But we didn't win the game, and we didn't do on every snap. We didn't give every play a chance, and that's our job as an offensive line. And there's a few plays you can look back on and say, we could have done this better. We could have done this better, and I think that's the important part coming out of this week.
Sam, what, if anything, surprised you when you went back through that tape based on what it felt like in the game and what actually happened?
I always try to live by a saying, is something one of my coaches told me a long time ago. It's never as good as you think, never as bad as you think, and that's normally what football comes down to. When you think you're too high or you think it went really well, you look back, you're like, man, my technique was off here, my fundamentals were a little bit off, or a mic point was missing or something like that. And then when you're too bad, it's like, it turned out we picked up a few things that we're good, and we were in some situations where it was 5-on-5 and we did our job. So obviously there's things every week that we're going to look to improve, and this week was no different.
Sam, how does it affect you guys when you have two left tackles go down with injury in the same game?
Yeah, I mean, that's tough, but the guys stepped up. Larry did a great job stepping in when JP went down. And then when Larry went down, Elijah did a great job stepping up. And, I felt like the communication was there. And in an environment where it's pretty loud, that's definitely critical as an offensive lineman to have everybody seeing things on the same page and through one set of eyes. So it was great to be out there with those guys and, everybody doing their job.
What's the biggest thing you're focusing on in terms of that unit, knowing injuries and everything else going into to the next game?
Yeah, just working together, getting together. As offense line is a unique position that all five guys got to be on the same page. So the more reps that we can get, the more we can talk through things, work through things, look at film together, and understand these are the type of things we're going to see. And the NFL is an interesting game in that whatever beat us, or individually or collectively as a unit, is something that we're probably going to see again this week or down the road. So those are the important things to correct, the things we messed up on last game.
And we hear a lot about David Montgomery taking an increased leadership role this season. In the game, did you notice a different mentality for him in the huddle on week one versus last season?
Dave, uniquely enough, Dave is like the same guy every single day. Very stoic about what he does, and it makes it easy to want to block really hard for a type of guy like that. A type of guy who, sometimes when, like on his touchdown run, there was movement, guy crossed my face, I was able to get a hand on him, but he ran through, I think, 4 tacklers. So, like, when you have a running back who's able to make you right when you're wrong, it just makes you want to go even harder for a guy like that. And there's not much that he really needs to say vocally. He runs with his pads down. He's always going forward. So to understand that you have a guy like that behind you is something that gives you great confidence as an offensive line.
How would you describe what rhythm in running frequency does for you as an offensive line? Like the constant repetition of run, run, run.
It gives you opportunity to get your fits and your fundamentals and understand how certain guys are going to play certain blocks. Is that what you're looking for there?
Yeah, just the mindset.
Yeah. Frequency, you can understand, like, this is the type of move that you're going to get. This is how this guy's going to try to escape, versus different types of plays that we have. So.
What changes for you when the quarterback changes?
Nothing. I got to do my job. I mean, my job is to snap the football and make sure he gets protected. That's the same no matter who's back there. So it's pretty simple for us up front.
Overall, how do you feel like you guys did in executing your game plan to neutralize Aaron Donald?
We didn't do it well enough, obviously. I mean, we only put 14 points on the board, so he was able to affect the game in different ways. So it's something, that I feel like there were plays that we did do a good job, and there were plays that we didn't. And, obviously at the end goal, the only stat that matters is the win column, and we didn't get it done. So obviously we didn't do enough for us to be successful.
At what point when you're going from Andy to Justin mid-series, are you aware that you're doing it? Is it just when Justin comes into the huddle?
Yeah, you see him come into the huddle or somebody calls out the personnel, then you know that Justin's in the game.
So are you aware, kind of, not at all, like before you guys get out for a drive, like, okay, third play, or at some point he might be coming in?
No, I mean, it's similar, if you put another wide receiver into the game or understand that personnel is going to change, or we go, and have a 2 tight end set versus a 1 tight end set, you got to understand the defense is going to respond differently to whoever's out there.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.